I'm Eddie Fox. I'm a programme leader for landscape architecture, and I teach on the BA landscape, years 1, 2 and 3 really. Sustainability is so fundamental to landscape architecture really. The issue comes in straight away from the very beginning of the course. We teach through a series of lectures and workshops, and we tend to teach sustainability integrated into that because it tends to come into lots of aspects of landscape architecture, theory, history, and also of course the technologies to do with ecology and planting. Through Studio we teach sustainability really through a progressive series of site engagements at a different scale. So in year 1 they'll start with fairly small sites, and as the course goes on build up to looking at networks of sites and then quite large areas of a city. And what we're looking at is all the different conditions that you come across in mainly urban sites that we tend to focus on. And so students basically build up their knowledge over the 3 years of sites and sustainability through a developing awareness of things to do with microclimate, with surface conditions and how that affects drainage and flooding issues, through engaging with ecologies and different kinds of habitats, and of course the way that affects people's perceptions, people's use, the way spaces function to support our lifestyles, etc., etc. It's a subject which engages with the specifics of a place, and each place varies in its context, in its makeup, in its value and function. And so through the sort of readings and theoretical knowledge that they develop, they then have to test those against specific case studies. So each site you deal with is a new case study. In Studio, in engaging with sites, they have to synthesise all this awareness and knowledge and relate it to a specific place. And so understanding how, in the theory, how an ecology works is very different to looking at the conditions of a particular site, understanding how those conditions have arisen and understanding what that actually means for the way the site functions and what the potential of that site might be into the future. So basically the site engagement is fundamental because it means you have to draw together all these strands of knowledge and then identify ways to manipulate those and or intervene in those conditions in order to, I suppose, create a more sustainable configuration of that site for the future. The sort of theoretical elements of the course usually involve submission of assignments, sometimes as a group, more often individually, and those assignments usually, as one of the learning outcomes, will be something to do with climate change, sustainability, maybe more indirectly to do with an awareness of ecologies or the way that these issues are reflected through certain theorists or through the development of the history of the profession. But pretty much every assignment that they're asked to do will at least involve a direct or semi-indirect coverage of the issue of sustainability. There's a whole series of different ways that we'd ask them to evidence it, but through project work it's obviously a more visual and more practical evidence base, and then we'd ask them to not only demonstrate an awareness of those issues that each site will reflect in different ways, but an awareness of the potential ways to address those issues through their own proposals, be that through vegetation, through the use of different technologies, through the use of hard materials and the arrangement, etc. Landscape architecture is a profession which, I suppose, because it deals with, in the broadest terms, it deals with the outdoor environment at all kinds of scales, and so it inevitably has to address issues of climate change and sustainability. You can't really escape it. All these issues are things that basically, as a pragmatic issue, the student, if they want to succeed in the profession, needs to know. And they'll develop that knowledge through practitioners coming in, as they do on a very regular basis, delivering lectures, workshops or crits in studio, as well as through staff like myself talking about the issues in studio, commenting on their own work, etc. So it's a really, I suppose, an absolutely essential part of the course because we are training people for a profession as well as educating them in the discipline. And in order to succeed, they just have to know that. It's central to the whole discipline.
You can find more Good Practice Exchange films and resources on our website. Visit celt.mmu.ac.uk/good_practice. Thanks for watching.